Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. I am Travis and today we are going to be listening to Sokoninaru Tenohira De Odoru. Probably should never recorded this as my first one after waking up, but hopefully I said that pretty okay. You know, new artist, new band. I'm trying to experiment with so many new artists on my channel. Hopefully this will be a returning artist. Let's get into it. Dude, their sound was wild. I mean, he has actually a pretty beautiful voice. They have a very unique sound. They were like all over the place. You know, they sounded good, and then they just stopped, and then they got funky with it. And it's just, I don't know, dude. Their sound was just like, I don't even know what I was listening to. That whole music video, I'm like, I don't know. They really threw you for a loop, and it's actually really surprising. Like when I clicked on this, you know, they seem to appeal to quite a number of English-speaking audience as well. So they definitely have exposure and likely the English market as well, but he has a really nice sound. I do like it. I do like that their sound kind of just keeps you on your toes. You know, they kind of have a funky sound in some parts. Kind of reminds me of like Iron Bunny, which I thought was kind of like a funkier version of like baby metal. Yeah, let's get right into the lyrics and try to decipher this. Assuming that God has a will, we've already been programmed by him. Purine materials deep inside the head have reached the limit and been out of function. Are we dancing now, or is someone making us dance? But still, I can hear the echoes deep inside my skull. Are we dancing now, or is somebody making us dance? So, it kind of goes back to, in a sense, him kind of programming us. Like, are we doing this out of our own free will, or are we doing this because it's been kind of programmed into us, or, our destiny says this is what we're going to do? But still, I can hear the echoes deep inside my head. It might be, in a sense, your moral compass. You know how, like, if you are deciding if you should do something, but you morally think, like, we're not supposed to do this, you kind of have that, like, should I do this or should I not? It's kind of like, I feel like that's kind of what he's talking about, the echo. It's kind of like your angel and demon on your shoulders, kind of saying, like, you should or you shouldn't. Hey, are we ready yet? Being not able to resist and keeping manipulated, we are losing our identity. It kind of doubles back again to being the programmed. If everybody followed the Bible, because we're talking about God in a sense. So if like everybody talked about the Bible, followed the Bible, or if you followed whatever your religious figure dictated, you wouldn't really be an individual. You know what I mean? You would all follow the same script. You would all do the same things. You would all think the same way, and that's really just being kind of controlled by the masses. You're not an individual. You're just doing what everybody else does. You don't want to be different. You don't want to be an individual. Yeah, I mean, of course, if you were to do that, if you were to do what everybody else did, you would have much less of an identity if you decided to just be your own person and set out and forge a path of your own, even if it might go against what the masses do. Yes, we are ready now. Even though we are drowning in a deception, I don't think we are told to dance. So I'm sure that we can build up our own identity. God, it's weird talking about religion when I'm not like super religious myself. So I feel like in a way I kind of don't really have a place for it. I've never read the Bible, or I don't really have much of an interest to. But you could say the deception is how some religious folks say that if you don't believe in God or you don't follow the Bible, you're not going to make it to heaven, and so, or you have to do this if to be a good person, so on and so forth. I've always kind of lived with the mentality of, just be the best person you can be what you consider a morally good and just person, and when your time comes, just hope for the best. That's kind of how I've lived. So you could say the deception is that, like, following this set out path, that God has programmed you with. You don't follow that, then you're not going to make it to heaven. So that could be the deception, this pre-programmed thing that God has kind of set you forth. I don't think we are told to dance, meaning he doesn't think that he is programmed by God. He is, and so we could build up our own identity. So he doesn't think that he's dancing because he's programmed to. He's thinking he's doing it because he wants to do it. I feel like talking about religion, it's kind of funny. I feel like talking about religion as well. I feel like this is going to be one of those videos where it's kind of, it might cause a lot of conflict among some people. Some people, I'm sure some viewers might be really religious. Some aren't. I don't really want like a religious debate too much, but I feel like religion is one of those topics, just like politics, that is very, divisive. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It could just be one of those really divisive topics. So the voice piled up with ambitions is leading frustration, stabbing my own throat. The voice, I think, is more his own voice, because he's talking about finding his own identity. So his own voice is trying to build him up with ambitions, like, we want to achieve this, we want to do this, we want to do this. Anything that would make him an individual and achieve the goals he wants to set out for himself. Stabbing at his own throat. It's leading to frustration. Like, yeah, I mean, we all want to do certain things. Like, I want to be fluent in Japanese. But, when it comes to work, and it comes to doing this, and it comes to, having free time, and it's like, it's frustrating because I feel like I should be further along with my Japanese. I get it. He's frustrated because he wants to achieve probably so many different things and wants to be an individual that he feels frustrated he's not achieving them right then and there, At the age of 3, we learn to speak, and we get soaked in the tides of sentiment when we are 13. We repeat it over and over, and after all, we notice that we haven't learned anything at all. It's horrible, 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 oh so horrible. We expose our disgrace. Maybe it's talking about our ignorance. Maybe it's kind of referring to this, like our ignorance to certain topics, or our ignorance to the world around us. Maybe it could just be talking about, not having an identity. Maybe he feels that could be a disgrace, not having his own identity. I don't know. I'm a little conflicted on that one. Can we start now trying to fight back we still keep manipulated and the proof of our existence has been shading off. Could just be talking about, because he's talking about trying to find his own identity, maybe he's talking about just follow what everybody else does. When everybody does the same thing or feels the same way about something, it's really hard to be that person and be like, no, I don't agree with everybody. It's hard to be that person because you feel like ostracized, you feel like you're the trouble person. And maybe it could be kind of that, trying to fight back, still keep manipulated. Just be like everybody else. Don't be that person that has a pushback against society. Just be a good little person. Just do what everybody else does. Stop trying to find your own identity, you know? That's what I'm kind of thinking it's referring to. I don't care anymore. On the palm of the hand, it's still telling us to dance. And we realize that our heel bones are worn off. Oh, wow. So this is double backing all the way to this. You know, is somebody making us dance? But he's also saying that I don't think we were told to dance. So he feels like he is an individual and he's dancing because he wants to. But I think right here he's kind of realizing that our heel bones are worn off, that he's been dancing this whole time maybe. So maybe he feels that he wants to be an individual and find his own identity, but maybe at the end of it, he realizes he's been manipulated this whole time. He's been doing what they've wanted him to do this whole time because he's still dancing because his heel bones are worn off. So when we are already tired of standing on the verge of resignation, the internal moves are getting slower and slower towards the end. It generally sounds like somebody who feels they have this predestined or programmed will to follow, and he wants to find his own identity. He eventually comes to think that he's doing these things because he wants to do it and that he's not programmed to do it. He thinks he's an individual. He sets out his own destiny in a sense. But towards the end, it seems like he realizes that he's been programmed this whole time. He feels he's dancing out of his own free will, but then he realizes that his heel bones are worn off, meaning he's been doing it this whole time when he thought he was free to find his own path, his own identity, his own free will. He's been doing really what he's been programmed to do this whole time. That's kind of what I'm getting, but definitely do let me know your interpretation. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, this is a pretty good song. I like it, man. This band is just wild in the sense that you just don't really know where they're going. Their sound is just so unique. Like, their sound is unlike nobody else's. It's just all over the place, but it's like, it's wild and crazy, and I like it a lot. He has a really great voice, and his lyrics are definitely unique in the sense that I don't think I've really tried breaking down these type of lyrics before, talking about pre-programmed destiny. There are things such as like being controlled, you know, having God's will and stuff like that. That's a new topic, I think, of breaking down the lyrics, so I do like that as well. It's a unique idea to try to decipher. But anyway, feel free to recommend more music, whether by this artist or more just Japanese artists as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.